So what is volume profile and how do we accumulate the data or the view for it? First of all, let's start with this is a NAS 100, a CFD or a spot instrument. A regular 15-minute chart, for example, is going to be looking something like this. You see just bars, hourly, just bars I use. But let's examine the bid and ask ladder. This is your bid and ask bar, a 5-minute bar. You notice how the numbers are different, or the columns are different in shades and thickness, sorry, number of contracts inside them, or numbers are inside them. And you notice the current price right now is moving and the numbers are changing. You see this numbers are changing here. This is the amount of buyers versus sellers, and that is closed now. There's the next one. Numbers of buyers and sellers are changing. Another 5-minute bar just opened. Numbers of buyers of sellers and buyers are changing. You notice there's a dark shade versus lighter shade, tomato red versus darker red. It has more contracts. What does this all mean? If you have a human calculator within your brain, you might be able to study to learn all these. Um, but to tell you the truth, nothing you can do with this, even with OrderFlow, because I used to be one of the first ones who introduced OrderFlow and bid and ask ladder. Talking about over 10 years ago, I discovered things such as the closing or capping of the candle, unfinished business such as this one here, unfinished business because there's no zero at the end, point of control, a lot of things. But to tell you, to be honest, nothing you could do about this, nothing you could do to benefit you for trading, unless there's a method that I'm not aware of. Overall, these numbers have to be looked at in a different way. Let's examine this, the last two 5-minute bars, the old one, or the last two that just opened up, the last three, let's say. What do we get out of these? What do we understand from these numbers, from these columns? Do we understand anything other than this was a bullish bar and followed by two bearish bars? But these numbers, if you try and accumulate them in a way that visually are more attractive, putting the volume profile indicator that we created on the side, it will give you something like this. You see how different this is? You see that? You notice now there's a different view to this. There's a majority of volume happened here. Orange was a bit less, green was a bit less, but still good. Blue was least amount of traded, and you see this is accumulating now. It's very proactive. Still not enough. You need to bring more data in. The more data you bring in into the charts, the more visually understandable would this graph would be. And this is only 5 days back, and still not enough for me. But overall, this amount of data in the last 5 days on this 5-minute bar has created levels, such as, you know, uh, if you can see my cursor, there was resistance here, there's a rejection level here, this is continuation, this is continuation, this is a suction tube level that we call it reversal. See how many times it tried to poke it and then brought it back up. Support, see how many times this area acted like a support. Resistance, resistance, support, all these, and also these this shape of trading, we call it a knife, also created, the top of it created a resistance, bottom of it created support in the past, the top of the bubble. So now you have more understanding of what volume profile is. Therefore, this here is not needed. There's a lot of fuss made about this, but it's really not needed. Okay, just take a look at what we look at. Daily Nasdaq. Look, we notice a resistance or support this area had earlier. 60-minute chart. How beautiful the volume profile could be. Look at that. See how it broke this level and continuing. It was supposed to be resistance and support area. How it broke it and now it's coming back down to the lower level. So there's a lot of information you can get out of the volume profile. Unlike the bid and ask ladder, there's not much to it. There's a lot of fuss made about it still till today, but I was one of the first ones who actually discovered this and was trading with this, and I was trying to get something with this. But the only thing I got out of it eventually, after a few years of testing and trading with it, I realized the volume profile accumulated on the side, and I designed this indicator for us, is a lot more visually attractive and accurate. And here's a chart for the pound yen, a currency pair that everybody's familiar with. Same thing. The numbers on the bars don't mean much really, but the volume profile means a lot. And the way we teach it, we explain it, there's a lot of benefits to it. Watch this. See the view that you see. It's different than just having numbers on a bar. Hope you get the picture. Thanks for paying attention.